let's talk about salt water in swimming pools. Now, has to be one of the most controversial subjects, one of the most desired products, one of the most discussed things about swimming pools in general for the past 30 years. And so, I mean, there's a lot to talk about here, but a lot of this is kind of common knowledge at this point. I don't want to waste your time here, but there is a lot to talk about. And let's just kind of unpack it. So the first thing that you're going to be wondering is like, can I get salt water? Should I get salt water for my pool? And really what it comes down to is this. There's a lot of ways that salt water is sold to you, right? Like you might have been told it's literally maintenance free. You just get salt water and that's it. Your pool's maintenance free. And that's just a lie. Like it's not true or anything, but I mean, a lot of pool owners bought salt systems based on that statement. And so, what we need to do here is kind of unpack the myth from the reality, because if this is all about expectation of function, if you buy something and it doesn't do what you were expecting it to do, you are unhappy with your purchase. So let's make you happy with your saltwater purchase. How about that? Let's tell you what you're going to get with this system and for investing this money into a salt chlorine generator. And is it going to be of value to you? Well, then you could answer that. You're the only person that can answer that. And that's what it comes down to, is you can't just look up, is salt good? Should I get it? Because that depends on you and how you expect it to work and what you expect to spend, et cetera, et cetera. Because it is a nuanced consideration. It's not just black and white. Like there are some pros and there are some cons. I think that would be a great way to approach something like a saltwater pool consideration. So first and foremost, what does it do? What are you going to get? It is simple. You get one thing and one thing only. You get a system which generates chlorine for you. That's what it does. It doesn't balance the pool. It doesn't make anything maintenance free. It simply generates chlorine for you. Doesn't automatically do anything, doesn't know what to do without you just dialing it into like you have an output dial. That's basically how that works. And it will make as much or as little chlorine as you tell it to. So to unpack that further, you still, as this saltwater pool owner making your own chlorine regularly, you still will need to add external chlorine sometimes. It's not a chlorine-free pool. It's not an alternative to chlorine, and it doesn't alleviate you of the need to sometimes add external chlorine for various reasons, like breakpoint chlorination or just some quick action, like a salt chlorine generator develops that chlorine slowly over a long period of time. If you see a problem right now, like it's starting to pour rain and you just notice you have almost no chlorine in the pool, don't wait, don't turn up the dial. It's too late. Go ahead and just add some liquid chlorine to that pool and get the result right away. And if you understand that about salt chlorine systems, in that it just kind of makes your day-to-day maintenance amount of chlorine, but you still will do other chemical adjustments and measuring, and chlorine included within that. If you understand that, then we're good so far. So now that we know exactly what a salt chlorine system is going to do for you, it's going to generate your day-to-day chlorine and nothing other than that. Let's talk about some of the benefits that you will get from a system like that. One of the things I used to tell my clients regularly when they were considering a salt system is I like that it's more of a steady output of chlorine versus if you're manually going out with a jug of chlorine twice a week and pouring some into the pool, you get this like peak and valley result, depending on the time of the day that you're swimming. Maybe the chlorine was added recently, or it's, just about time for you to add chlorine again, peaks and valleys. The salt system, there's a dialing in process for sure, because you don't know the output value your pool needs on a particular time of year or day and how many swimmers you have and all that. So you have to kind of dial yours in. But once you have that dialed in, largely you're going to be able to maintain a more steady chlorine level. And on that level, a lot of people will say like, oh good, I can run like lower levels, like 0.5 parts per million of chlorine. Maybe, but really it's not a good idea to do that for reasons we can talk about in another video. And a salt chlorine system's it's not going to really do that. You don't have that level of control, really. You probably just end up running out of chlorine and accidentally turning your pool green. Do that 2 or 3 times, and then you're going to stop pursuing that. 2 parts per million is a great minimum number for your free chlorine level. And once you have your salt system dialed in, you should largely be able to just, with predictability, know that, I set mine to 5, and bada bing, I'm right there at about 2 to 3 parts per million regularly in the pool. That's what you can expect as an owner of a salt system at the end of your first season owning this salt system. I think that's a reasonable expectation to set. So what's another benefit of these salt systems? And I would say that it is compatible with like a lot of other stuff. So I'm not talking about like compatibility with the pool and the components. Is it going to damage stuff? Right now, I'm talking about compatibility with, you want to get a UV system or ozone or AOP or some mineralizer, some sort of peripheral system for your swimming pool. You can probably do that along with a chlorine or a salt chlorine system. They're compatible because they just make chlorine, and pretty much everything for use in pools is already compatible with chlorine, or we wouldn't be using it in pools. So in that sense, a salt system could be useful because it doesn't limit you. You can't like, or you're not limited to, now I have salt, I can't have any of these other things. Depending on what you're looking at, you can probably add those other things as well and benefit from like some synergy between the salt chlorine generator and a germicidal UV light or an AOP system, for example. So what else is a benefit of salt water? Here's a big one. This is alone enough for a lot of people to pull the trigger on a salt chlorine system. So in some areas, draining and refilling your pool is a problem. You can't do that. Maybe you have a poor water supply. You have to truck in your water, or you live in an area with water restrictions and discharging of the water is a problem. In these areas, using stabilized chlorine, stabilized chlorine pucks or stabilized chlorine directly into the pool results in your cyanuric acid levels climbing to unacceptable levels where you have to drain and partially refill. And for some pools, it's no problem at all, but other pools, that's a huge problem. A salt system, because you're generating your chlorine yourself, you're not adding stabilizer continually. You will add stabilizer, kind of set the level that you want. 30 to 50 is always the range that we tell people for pools. Salt pool owners sometimes report that 70 parts per million is more effective for a CYA level or a stabilizer level for their pool. But that's a different conversation here. The point being is that you're not having to worry about these constantly climbing CYA levels, because so many people do that. So many people rely on chlorine pucks in a floater or an erosion feeder, and you constantly deal with problems with your water or constantly deal with having to drain and refill because your CY levels are unacceptably high. Salt systems pretty much solve that entirely, and that's a huge benefit. Okay, here's another huge benefit. When you have a salt chlorine system, let's just make the assumption that it doesn't fail really early, because that's like, it could happen. That's a different conversation. But for most people who buy them, that's not going to happen. It's just going to run for a good long time. 3 years, 5 years, 7 years at the absolute most, something like that. When you make that investment, you buy that, you add the salt to your pool, now you're generating your chlorine. Oops, there's a chemical fire at a chlorine manufacturing plant, like a major one, right at like the worst time of year, right when there's, I don't know, like some sort of global pandemic happening. And as a result, there's this crazy shortage of chlorine right when everybody needs it. That'd be bad, right? But what are the chances of that? What? Huh? It already happened. Oh, that's right. It did already happen. And for just a little while, pool owners were in a pickle because you can't just not add chlorine. Like your whole pool goes to crap immediately, like immediately. And so when it was on the table that chlorine was in short supply or just completely off the shelves, it created this panic situation amongst everybody except for the people who had salt chlorine systems. So I think definitively I have identified another advantage here. If you live in an area, like I do consulting for swimming pools internationally, and a lot of people that I consult with build off-grid systems. They're in some international place that I don't even know the name of, and they have a real hard time getting things like buckets of chlorine delivered to them. Hey, what about like a pallet of salt and then a salt chlorine generator with like maybe even a backup cell as like a solid investment for you? And that's what these places do, and it provides this pretty solid level of protection against the nature of products just suddenly not being available. Like, I mean, it's something that you take for granted. I know I certainly have for decades as a pool owner, and yet suddenly chlorine can just be unavailable for reasons. It's happened before, and it could happen again, and that's an advantage of buying a salt chlorine generator. Okay, I've got one more advantage for you here, and it comes down to the salt. The salt is something that you add a lot of, and now we're going to say 3,000 parts per million because that's what your system requires. Once you add that, other than leaking, which your pool shouldn't be leaking, and the splash out, there's really not much more salt to be added. Like, you don't just continually add huge volumes of salt to the pool unless you're doing like a drain and refill, in which case, then yes, you're going to have this new cost to incorporate. But for most pool owners, you're just going to add the salt one time, maybe once or twice a year, you'll add another bag or two, and that's it. And salt's pretty affordable, and that's even including buying the very specific right stuff you need to have, which is pool salt, which is incredibly pure and doesn't have impurities like, iron and metals and things like that that are going to cause staining and other issues for your pool. So that's a good thing about salt. Like, you make your initial investment, you get the pool up and running. There's not a huge ongoing cost here in terms of the salt, as I said, unless you're having to do like partial drain and refills for like seasonal winterization or other reasons. But I chose to talk about that one last because that kind of foils into the negatives of salt systems, and one of them is the cost of the salt, or just even the amount of salt, the work of getting the salt into your backyard. And you're like, well, what's the problem? And I'm like, well, you might need 900 pounds of salt. Not a made up number. You might need 900 pounds. How big's your pool? It's a lot of work. It's a fair bit of money. Again, I touched on earlier, if you're a pool that has to seasonally drain and refill, like, it's actually kind of a lot of work to be adding like 300, 400 pounds of salt every single year to your pool. That would be a lot, and at least a consideration you'd want to have, because that salt doesn't walk itself into the backyard, as I mentioned. So there is some initial cost here and some consideration in terms of the ongoing running of your pool and how this, having to maintain 3,000 parts per million of salt in your pool is going to affect that. There is, of course, also the purchase price and the installation price of this salt chlorine generator. And depending on where you live, the prices are going to change. But like $3,000 is kind of a reasonable number that probably wouldn't even be inclusive of like adding the salt and stuff like that, to give you an idea what a system like this would cost you. But right away, you have to consider, so whatever the number is, you're going to be buying less chlorine than you used to, a lot, right? And chlorine's not free. It's not the most expensive thing in the world, but it's also not free. So right away, whatever the cost you're spending on this salt system, you're going to get money back on that, because you're not going to be buying chlorine like you used to. That's a consideration here. Will you save back your entire purchase price in chlorine savings? Like, I'm going to guess probably not. Even if the system lasts its entire life, you probably don't break even on that purchase price, but you're getting additional benefits here over and above just straight chlorine in the pool. If you just want straight chlorine in the pool by the cheapest way possible, probably not buying a $3,000 salt system would be a good first step there. Maybe just liquid chlorine that you manually go and buy in jugs and pour into the pool would be your best option. So we've talked about the cost of the salt, we've talked about the cost of the system and the installation itself. There are a couple of other negatives here, and we're kind of getting close to the big one, which is there is concern for corrosion in your swimming pool from adding 3,000 parts per million of salt to it. As it turns out, if you pour 900 pounds of salt into something that's got a bunch of metal in it, the metal could rust, right? Like, I mean, that sounds reasonable when you say it like that. And, when you break it down, there's like an electromechanical process, a destructive electromechanical process called galvanic corrosion. Your swimming pool is a primary battery. It's just a giant salt water thing. Have you ever seen water in a battery? That's what's in there. It's an electrolyte solution, which is salt water, which is what we have now, a giant swimming pool full of salt water. And if you start submerging dissimilar metals into salt water, you will get a galvanic couple between these metals, whereby there's an electron change between them, and one becomes an anode and one becomes a cathode. The cathode receives cathodic protection, advanced protection, resistance against corrosion at the expense of the anode. The less noble metal in the galvanic couple will experience an advanced rate of decay, and you can experience advanced rates of decay of metal components within your pool as a result of galvanic corrosion from adding all this salt to your pool. It was a mouthful. What I'm saying here is that there is a linear increase in the amount of galvanic activity for the amount of salt that you add. If you double the amount of salt in your pool, you double the galvanic activity. That's just the nature of how electricity and water and all the stuff inside there works. What you need to know as the pool owner is this. Largely, swimming pools are built in such a way that adding the salt shouldn't really damage anything. All of the things that we use in pools, like stainless steel, is supposed to be already sufficiently robust as to be able to resist direct submersion in chlorinated water. That's a pretty harsh environment already. So adding some salt isn't the end of the world here. There's a few notable exceptions, like there's for handrails, stainless steel handrails that everybody's seen in swimming pools. It's actually two different ones that you could get. There's like the regular one, and then there's the marine grade stainless steel. And if you wanted to upgrade your pool to a salt system, as a pool specialist, that's a conversation I would have with you. Like, what kind of ladders do you have? Do you happen to, are they stamped, embossed anywhere? What kind of stainless steel are they? Because if they're not marine grade, I probably am going to recommend to you to upgrade. The largest concerns for galvanic corrosion, advanced rusting of stuff, all relate to improperly built swimming pools that lack an equipotential bonding grid that is going to force all of the metal components to maintain the same electrical potential. It's how a swimming pool is designed to be safe so that you don't get electrocuted when you're swimming in swimming pools. And largely, they're all built that way. I can't say that they all are, obviously, but largely they are. So it is a concern for galvanic corrosion in swimming pools, but largely, properly built swimming pools don't really have problems with these things. And further to this, most of the worst nightmare stuff, if you go hunting for the nightmare stories about salt water and look at all this damage it caused and whatever, most of that stuff is going to be a leaking pool that wasn't maintained properly or chemical mismanagement of the pool. Almost every time. So what I'm saying to you is, if you maintain your pool in such a way that it is not leaking, and certainly not leaking for extended periods of time, and also you don't take an approach that the pool maintains itself, you balance and maintain your water chemistry the way that you're supposed to, ideally within a neutral saturation index or as close to it as you can possibly maintain. And if you do all that stuff, largely you're not going to have any problems at all, and you don't even need to know the words galvanic corrosion. Largely speaking, that's the situation. So I'm surprised continually I've done so much writing on salt water and different articles and stuff like that, and pools and magazines and whatnot. And largely people say, oh, Steve, I'm surprised that you hate salt water so much. And I'm like, my pool's salt. What are you talking about? Hate it? No, I'm providing information. I saw a big discrepancy between the real world and what people were being told when they were trying to purchase something like a salt chlorine generator. It's not maintenance free. It doesn't do everything for you. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It does one thing and one thing only. And that's what bothered me, because now you're creating people who are making purchase decisions which are not informed. You are not going to be happy with your purchase because it doesn't do what you're expecting it to do. Like that's my problem. My problem largely isn't with salt. As I've mentioned, most of the problems, most of the even potential concerns are just mitigated by proper care and maintenance of your swimming pool. Do that, and don't expect your salt chlorinator to perform some sort of magic function it was never designed to do. If you can do those things, you're going to be pretty happy with salt chlorine. Salt does a ton of stuff. Like, it feels soft on the skin. That is like the number one thing that people talk about when they have a salt pool. And it's why when you sell somebody a swimming pool, hey, here's this pool, it's going to be $150,000. And they're like, cool, I want a salt pool. And you're like, okay, $153,000. Like, it's a small bolt-on item, truly, but people place so much value, such a high perceived value for salt pools. And that's largely related to the fact that it feels good when you swim in it. It's softer on the skin. It doesn't leave you so dry and itchy. It doesn't bleach out your bathing suits. People with eczema and skin conditions often report that they have trouble in regular pools, but not trouble in salt pools. So there's a bunch of benefits to be had here. Well, I hope this video helps you to be more informed about salt water for your pool. Is it something you want? Is it something that you wouldn't want? Do you think you'd benefit from it? Hopefully that I've touched on a bunch of different stuff here, and some of it will be valuable to you. If it was, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.